all. In 2003, Seoul announced it would tear down a 6-lane elevated expressway carrying 168,000 vehicles every day through the center of the city. The highway would be gone within 2 years, replaced by a stream that had been buried under concrete for nearly half a century. Traffic engineers warned of gridlock. Business owners predicted economic collapse. Instead, the Cheonggyecheon restoration became one of the most studied urban infrastructure reversals in modern history. The Cheonggyecheon was a natural stream flowing 10.9 kilometers through downtown Seoul, sourced from the Suseongdong Valley in Inwangsan. For centuries, it functioned as part of the city's early sewerage system, an open channel where residents disposed of waste and stormwater drained toward the Han River. By the mid-20th century, the stream had become a public health problem. Post-Korean War reconstruction brought rapid urbanization. Informal settlements crowded the banks. The water turned foul. Seoul's population was exploding, and the infrastructure built for a smaller city could not handle the load. The city needed a solution, and the dominant planning philosophy of the 1950s and 60s offered one: bury the problem and build over it. Between 1958 and 1961, Seoul filled the Cheonggyecheon with concrete, entombing the stream beneath the expanding city. The covering operation transformed a visible public health crisis into an invisible one, moving the sewage and stormwater into underground pipes while creating new land for development above. In 1968, engineers went further, constructing the Cheonggye Expressway directly above the covered stream. The elevated roadway became a symbol of South Korea's economic modernization, a concrete demonstration that Seoul had joined the ranks of advanced cities. For 3 decades, the expressway carried tens of thousands of cars daily through the commercial heart of the capital. But the structure was aging poorly. The concrete showed cracks, safety inspections revealed structural weaknesses, and the neighborhoods beneath the highway had become some of the least desirable real estate in the city, starved of light, choked with exhaust, and cut off from the urban fabric around them. The expressway had solved one problem by creating others. The elevated structure cast permanent shadows over the streets below. The constant traffic noise made the ground-level shops and residences unpleasant. Property values stagnated in areas that should have been prime urban real estate given their central location. The highway had become a physical and economic barrier, cutting through neighborhoods rather than connecting them. By the late 1990s, the infrastructure that once symbolized progress had become a symbol of urban dysfunction. The question facing Seoul was whether the city could afford to keep it, and whether it could afford to remove it. In 2001, Myung-bak campaigned for mayor of Seoul with a pledge that sounded radical: remove the Cheonggye Expressway and restore the stream beneath it. He won. In 2003, demolition began. The project required removing 5.8 kilometers of elevated roadway, excavating the buried streambed, and designing a new waterway through one of the densest business districts in Asia. Engineers had to reroute utilities, manage groundwater, and solve a basic hydrological problem. The original stream no longer had enough natural flow to sustain itself. Decades of urban development had paved over the watershed. The water table had changed. The solution involved pumping water from the Han River and from subway seepage to maintain a continuous flow, essentially creating an artificial stream in the footprint of the natural one. The removal sparked immediate opposition. Traffic modeling predicted chaos. The expressway carried 168,000 vehicles per day. Removing it would force that traffic onto surface streets or alternative routes that were already congested. Shop owners along the corridor protested, fearing the construction would destroy their businesses and the finished park would fail to attract customers. The project cost more than 386 billion won, a substantial public investment with uncertain returns. Critics called it a vanity project, an expensive gamble that prioritized aesthetics over the practical needs of a working city. The mayor was spending hundreds of billions of won to create a park in a city that desperately needed better roads, better transit, and more housing. The city's argument rested on a different logic. The expressway was nearing the end of its structural life and would require expensive reinforcement or replacement regardless. Doing nothing was not an option. The city would have to spend significant money either way. The neighborhoods along the route had declined into economic stagnation, their property values suppressed by noise, pollution, and physical disconnection. Restoring the stream could reconnect 5.8 kilometers of urban land, create public space in a dense city with limited parks, and potentially trigger private investment in surrounding blocks. The question was whether removing car infrastructure in a car-dependent city would unlock enough value to justify the disruption. Seoul was betting that reconnected urban land was worth more than a single traffic corridor. The Cheonggyecheon reopened in 2005. The stream ran through a landscaped corridor with walking paths, bridges, and public plazas. Planners had designed multiple access points so pedestrians could enter and exit the corridor easily, integrating it into the surrounding street grid rather than isolating it as a separate park. Early measurements recorded a temperature drop of 3.6 degrees Celsius along the corridor during summer months, compared to nearby streets, a localized cooling effect from the water and vegetation. Air quality improved measurably in the immediate area. Pedestrian traffic increased. Within a few years, the stream had become one of Seoul's most recognized public spaces, drawing millions of visitors annually and appearing in urban planning conferences worldwide as a model of highway removal. But the traffic problem remained a legitimate question. Removing 168,000 vehicles per day from a central artery should have produced measurable congestion. Some congestion did occur, particularly during the construction phase, yet the predicted gridlock never materialized at the scale opponents warned. Part of the explanation lies in induced demand working in reverse. Highway capacity doesn't just accommodate traffic, it generates it. When you build a new lane, trips that were previously inconvenient become viable, and traffic expands to fill the available space. When capacity disappears, the reverse happens. Some trips evaporate. Drivers shift routes, change departure times, consolidate errands, switch to transit, or decide certain trips aren't worth the added friction. Seoul's subway system absorbed some of the displaced demand. Surface streets adjusted. The city didn't eliminate cars, it recalibrated the trade-offs, making driving slightly harder in one corridor while making walking, transit, and urban life measurably better. The economic outcome proved more complex than either supporters or critics predicted. Property values along the stream did increase, and private development followed. New commercial and residential projects appeared in areas that had been stagnant for decades. Tourism grew. The restored corridor attracted visitors from across Seoul and from other cities, generating foot traffic and commercial activity that had not existed when the expressway loomed overhead. But some of the original small businesses did not survive the construction period or the transformation that followed. The corridor attracted different users and different economic activity, which benefited some stakeholders while displacing others. The project succeeded in achieving its urbanistic and environmental goals, but the distribution of costs and benefits was uneven, a pattern common in large-scale urban renewal. Seoul's decision to remove the Cheonggye Expressway demonstrated that car infrastructure is not permanent, that cities can choose to undo past planning decisions when those decisions no longer serve the city's needs. The stream restoration cost over 386 billion won and required political will to proceed despite opposition and uncertainty. It succeeded not because highways are inherently bad, but because this particular highway had become a structural liability in a neighborhood that could produce more value as connected, walkable urban space than as a traffic corridor. The outcome depends on context, the availability of alternative routes, the strength of transit, the economic potential of reconnected land, and the willingness to accept that some traffic will be inconvenienced in exchange for broader urban gains. Other cities studied the Cheonggyecheon model, but few replicated it. The conditions that made removal viable in Seoul, dense transit network, alternative routes, strong political leadership, aging infrastructure that needed replacement anyway, did not exist everywhere. Highway removal works when the removed capacity can be absorbed elsewhere, and when the reconnected land can generate enough economic and social value to justify the loss of vehicle throughput. It is a trade-off, not a universal solution. By 2005, the Cheonggyecheon had returned to the surface after more than 40 years underground, no longer a natural stream but a functioning public space in one of the world's largest cities. The expressway that symbolized progress in 1968 was gone, replaced by a different vision of what a successful city could look like. The lesson wasn't that all highways should be removed, it was that infrastructure serves cities, not the other way around, and when a piece of infrastructure stops serving, cities have the option to choose something else. Visual reconstructions are illustrative. Facts and interpretations are based on the sources listed in the description.